I sat on a bench in the city park, observing the various sights and sounds of the park on this warm winter day. The sun was shining bright, casting a warm glow over the snow-covered landscape. I couldn't help but feel a sense of contentment wash over me. The winter day was unusual and the warmth was unexpected. Children were building snowmen and having snowball fights, their laughter filling the air. Couples walked hand in hand along the paths, taking in the serene beauty of the park. A group of friends played a game of football, their shouts and cheers adding to the lively atmosphere. As I watched, I felt grateful to be able to experience such a peaceful and beautiful day, amidst the hustle and bustle of the city. The park was a melting pot of people from all walks of life, each enjoying the day in their own unique way. I took a leisurely stroll around, admiring the small pond where a group of ducks were swimming in the open water, unfazed by the cold. The park was a symbol of hope and resilience. Despite the cold and snow, life persisted, and the park was a testament to that. As I continued my stroll through the park, I came across a group of pigeons huddled together near a fountain. They were a common sight in the city, but they always managed to capture my attention. The group of birds were a mix of colors, some with glossy iridescent feathers, others with a more subdued palette. They cooed and fluttered around each other, some preening their feathers while others pecked at the ground for bits of food. I couldn't help but find their behavior fascinating. They were always so organized, working together to find food and protect one another. They were a testament to the resilience of nature, even in the midst of a bustling city. As I watched the pigeons, I noticed a few of them flew up to a nearby tree and perched on the branches. From there, they had a clear view of the park and all its visitors. It was like they were observing us as much as we were observing them. Continuing my tour of the park, I came across a group of playful squirrels. They were darting around, chasing each other and climbing up and down the tree trunks. Their energy was infectious and I couldn't help but smile as I watched them. One squirrel caught my eye. It was a little bit bigger than the others, with a fluffy tail that seemed to fluff up even more when it was excited. It was running around, chattering and making a lot of noise as it chased after one of its friends. I couldn't help but find their behavior amusing. Their playful antics reminded me of children, full of energy and curiosity. They scurried up and down the trees, leaping from branch to branch with ease. It was clear that they were having fun and enjoying the warm winter day just like the rest of us. As I watched them, I realized that the squirrels were also a symbol of the resilience of nature, adapting to the city environment and thriving despite the challenges. They were a reminder to me to always find joy and wonder in the world around me. As I walked further into the park, I came across an old man named Earl walking his pet boxer dog named Boots. Earl moved slowly, but he had a steady gait and he was clearly enjoying the warm winter day, just like the rest of us. He was wearing a navy blue coat and a brown fedora that covered his white hair. Boots was a beautiful dog. His coat was a shiny brown and his tail wagged happily as he walked alongside Earl. He was well trained, walking calmly by Earl's side without pulling on the leash. Earl was clearly devoted to Boots. He talked to him softly and patted his head affectionately. I couldn't help but notice the bond between the two of them. It was clear that they were best friends. I watched as Earl stopped to give Boots a treat, and the dog responded by licking his hand with gratitude. As they walked by, I couldn't help but feel a sense of warmth and nostalgia. Earl and Boots reminded me of the simple pleasures in life, the joy of companionship and the beauty of the natural world. They were a reminder that no matter our age, we can always find happiness in the small things. What perfect timing! As my stomach let out a hangry growl, I came across a small soup stand that had been set up in the park. The stand was made of wood and had a small counter and a sign that read Sally's Soups. There was a small portable stove on the counter and a pot of steaming soup was simmering on it. The aroma of the soup wafted through the air, making my stomach growl with hunger. I approached the stand and saw that there were a few people gathered around, holding styrofoam cups of soup. The vendor, a friendly-looking middle-aged woman, was dishing out the soup and chatting with the customers. The soup stand was a simple setup, but it seemed to be a popular spot in the park. I decided to try some of the soup. Sally gave me a warm smile as she ladled out a cup of soup for me. I took a sip and was surprised by how delicious it was. It was a hearty vegetable soup, with chunks of potatoes, carrots, and celery. It was just what I needed on a warm winter day. As I sat down on a nearby bench and enjoyed my soup, I couldn't help but appreciate the simplicity of the soup stand. It was a small business, but it brought a sense of comfort and warmth to the people in the park. It reminded me of the importance of community and how a small act of kindness can make a big difference in someone's day. After finishing my soup, I thanked the Sally and continued my walk through the park, feeling warm and full from the hearty soup. Shortly after leaving the soup stand, I came across an elderly couple sitting on a park bench. They were holding hands and seemed to be deep in conversation. The man's name was Leroy. He had short white hair and a kind face. He was wearing a beige cardigan and a plaid shirt. The woman, Catherine, had short white hair and was wearing a red scarf and a woolen coat. She had a gentle smile on her face and was looking at Leroy with love and affection in her eyes. I couldn't help but feel a sense of warmth and nostalgia as I watched them. They reminded me of the beauty and importance of companionship, especially as we get older. The way they held hands and talked to each other, it was clear that they have been together for a long time and have built a strong and loving relationship. I saw Leroy lean in to kiss Catherine on the forehead, and she smiled and leaned into him. They sat there for a while, talking and laughing, enjoying the warm winter day in each other's company. It was clear that they had a special bond and that they were each other's best friend. They were a reminder to me of the importance of cherishing the time we have with the people we love and to always appreciate the beauty of the world around us. I continued my walk, but the image of Leroy and Catherine sitting on the bench holding hands stayed with me. They reminded me of the importance of love and companionship in our lives and that it is never too late to find happiness and love. As the sun began to set, casting a warm orange and pink glow over the park, I realized that it was time for me to leave. I had spent the whole day observing the sights and sounds of the park, and I felt grateful for the peaceful and beautiful day. I took one last look around the park, taking in the sights and sounds one more time. I saw the children playing, the couples walking hand in hand, the friends playing football, the pigeons and squirrels, and the old man walking his dog. All the things I had observed throughout the day came back to me in a rush of memories. As I left the park, I couldn't help but feel a sense of contentment wash over me. I had taken the time to appreciate the simple beauty of nature and the people around me, and it had brought me a sense of peace and happiness. I walked home, the warmth of the sun on my skin, the memories of the park and the people I had observed all day, stayed with me. I knew that I would always cherish them. As I reached my home, I couldn't wait to get into my warm bed and rest, feeling grateful for the beautiful and peaceful day I had spent in the park.